Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to beautiful Irving, Texas. I'm so sorry I haven't uploaded in a long time, there's been a lot going on. As most of you probably know, Texas got extremely cold last week, like single digits extremely cold.
It should be a pleasant 10 or 15 degrees centigrade here. Instead, it's now dropping to -10 in the day, -20 at night.
Power went out, water went out. In fact, we still don't have water at all. That's incredibly annoying and we still have to get used to that. But it should be back on today or tomorrow, so I'm praying that that is the case. I wanted to make a little video about reptiles in the cold when your power goes out, stuff like that. I've seen a lot of posts on a bunch of Facebook groups of people who couldn't keep the reptiles warm. Some of them held them next to the body, some of them put them in pillowcases, slept with them, all different stuff. Crazy ways to keep them warm. Some of them died, which is very sad, but with preparation, all of that could have been avoided, and thankfully I had prepared. A long time ago, I watched a video on Snake Discovery of 10 things every reptile owner should own. I think that's what it's called. If not, I'll correct myself and put a link in the description so you guys can watch it too, because they have some great content, like I've always said. But that video said you need to have some way to warm your reptile if the power goes out.
What do you do for your reptile's health if your electricity goes out? Well, reptiles, being cold-blooded, need a source of external heat. So if their electronic heat source goes out, it's nice to have backups on hand like heat pads.
Now, I've lived in Georgia and then now Texas, as you guys know. I never in my mind thought the power would go out and it would be 8 degrees outside and Edward would be potentially in trouble for his life and stuff like that. So thankfully I listened to their advice, even though I never thought it would happen to me, and it definitely paid off. So let me set the stage for you guys a little bit. Last weekend, Saturday night, it was supposed to get down to like 10 degrees, something like that. A lot of power went out that Saturday night. Actually, for us, around 3 a.m., the power went out. Don't ask why I was up. I'm always up too late. But around 3 a.m., our power went out. Came back on about 20 minutes later. Went off again. Since then, up until about Tuesday, we would have power for an hour, hour and a half. They would cut it off for 5 or 6. It was horrible. Never knew when the power was going to come on. There was no schedule to it. It was just kind of random. You had to hope you were home and charging your devices and all that stuff when the power went on. Warming Edward up, as I'll talk about in a second. So thankfully, I didn't have to worry about the power being out the entire time. I think I would have been fine that way too. But every hour out of about 6 was an hour where Edward could warm up some with his traditional heat mat, and I put a light on there with a bulb that's warmer than it usually is, just to give a little boost so it actually heat up some, versus like right now it's not very hot. I can put my hand on it, all that kind of stuff. It's just there basically for his diurnal phase, day, night, all that kind of stuff. But what exactly did I do to keep Edward warm, and what did I have to prepare for, like I was talking about before? Well, I'll show you right here. And this right here is it. Hot hands, hand warmers. Now, how did I use these? Well, that is a good question, and the answer is actually kind of simple. So for the hand warmers, all I did, which I'm not going to do anymore, as you can see, we don't have many left. We are getting close to running out. That was a little scary. That's also a learning process for me. I'm going to buy a lot more next time, but we'll get into that in just a second. So with the hand warmers, I would take them out, shake them up how you're supposed to, just to get them so they're warming up. Then all I would do is stack them against the side of the tank right here. I literally only went from the edge of this little plaque with his name on it to the edge of the tank on this side. I know he hangs out on this side a lot, so I knew he'd be able to find it. There's no way I'm going to warm up the entire tank. I think that's unrealistic if your power's out and you only have hand warmers or something like that. Unless you have a generator or something. His entire tank was not going to be warm, but that was okay. I was going to make sure a section of it was, because he knows where warmth is. He can find that and just hang out there. So what I did was I stacked them up along here. After about 4 or 5 hours, when they started to cool off a little bit, they stayed warm for about 10, but they were only hot for 4 or 5, something like that. Once they kind of ran out of their juice here, I would put them on the top, and I had blankets and jackets over the top of the tank. I think I might have a video of that. If I do, I'll go ahead and put that in now. I think I have a video of me testing the temperature, but fortunately, it stayed warm enough for him. Actually, the coldest it ever got was 67 degrees, and that was on this side. So it was the cold side. This side always stayed at least in the 70s. so he was all right. I was still very worried. You know how I am with Edward, the the guy that keeps this place going. So I was very worried something was going to happen to him. I love Edward. You guys know that. He ended up being fine. Right when the power came back on, after about 4 or 5 hours, when it permanently came back on, he was out and about, moving around again. I fed him, and he was good to go. Now, there are other ways to accomplish this. I've seen people who have gas stoves and stuff like that, heat up water, put it in bags or something, put it in there so they have a heat source that way, or even on the surface so it radiates down into the tank. I've seen all different kinds of clever ways. We have all electric, so our stove is electric, all that stuff. There was no way for me to heat up water. In fact, we didn't even have water, so that was kind of an unrealistic way for me in the first place. So thank God I had these hand warmers. Make sure you get some if you have reptiles and you don't have gas, or even if you do, because sometimes that can get cut off too. Just make sure you're prepared. Preparation can avoid lots and lots of headaches, so make sure you're doing that if you haven't already. Guys, like I said, I have not been uploading very often, but I have been streaming on the other channel, so make sure you go check that out. We actually hit 10,000 followers on TikTok. I made my first dollar doing social media, and I made it through TikTok, which is kind of funny. Never thought that was gonna happen, never saw that coming. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you for following me on TikTok, the other channel, watching me stream, everything. I appreciate everything you guys do. I really, really do. I don't think y'all understand how much I appreciate it. We've also gotten like 50 subs since the last video, which was like a month ago, and I haven't uploaded since. So that's incredible. Thank you guys. Y'all are absolutely the best. If you want to follow the other channel, if you want to follow my TikTok, all that stuff, there'll be links to everything down below in the description. Make sure to go check that out. I'd really love to see you in a stream sometime. We play a lot of GeoGuessr, if you know what that is. We play other games. We can play games with you guys. We do that all the time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Make sure you take care of your reptiles. Be prepared. That's all I can say. I don't know what else to say. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you all later. Peace.